I hope you have some popcorn, or at the very least, a drink. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It might be a long one, though. We have a story about a wife over in Japan who kidnaps the husband because he's working too hard, basically. And this tweet has almost 130,000 likes. It's got over 41,000 retweets and almost 2,000 quote tweets, as you can see right here. I would like to go over to soranews to read the tweets, though, because I actually checked the tweets with 3 different translation systems, and I think soranews has a pretty good translation here, so full credit to them on that. And let's take a look. I think it might be a bad idea for me to read some of this on camera, because people, there's a lot of weirdos out there that might try to take the stuff out of context. So let me just start by reading it like this. Here's the story. Last Saturday, I decided to suddenly kidnap my husband. That first sentence, man. We got to read that again. Come on, that first sentence is so crazy. Last Saturday, I decided to suddenly kidnap my husband. We had been working on an overnight shift, so at 9 the next morning, I stood boldly in front of his office, waiting for him to come outside. "What? Why are you here?" he asked in surprise, and I told him, "I'm here to kidnap you." Her husband was naturally confused by the sudden turn of events. "We've got a Shinkansen to catch, so let's get moving," she commanded, dragging him to the nearest station where Japan's bullet train stops. Once they arrived, she gave him a ticket so that he could get through the gate and onto the train, but made sure to hand it to him face down so that he could not see the destination written on the other side. "Turning the ticket over, as well as checking our current location on your phone using GPS, are forbidden," she sternly informed him. Though he was becoming increasingly flustered, her husband complied with her instructions. As they waited on the platform, with him still dressed in his work clothes, he glanced at the suitcase that she had brought. By the way, is there a change of clothes for me in there?" he asked in a trembling voice. "Keep quiet," was all that she said in response. Soon after, their train pulled up, and her husband was startled to see that they'd been riding in a green car, the bullet train's equivalent to a first-class carriage. He says, "Whoa, I've never ridden in a green car before. The sign on the train says it's going to Nagoya." "Wait, is that where we're going?" "But it's a local train, so it'll stop at other stations along the way." "Hey, where are you taking me?" Once again, his wife refused to supply him with any information and merely laughed at his mixture of panic and sleep-deprived excitement. This wife sounds like an anime character, man. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but come on, it really seems like something out of an anime. As they boarded and took their seats, she handed her husband an eye mask and a set of earplugs, saying, "Sleep." But she also proved herself to not be an entirely heartless captor when she allowed him to take them off after he was unable to doze off. The train then made its way west from Tokyo, passing through a handful of stations before the announcement informed passengers that the next stop would be Mishima Station. "We're getting off," she abruptly informed her husband. "What? Mishima? What prefecture is that even?" he asked. And then she took some pictures of the anime girls because culture, you gotta do that. And of course, you can see the trains too. That's cool. Goes along with the story. But their journey was still far from over. After getting off the Shinkansen, they transferred to a local line, which gave her husband a hint as to where they were when he saw that the gates were marked Izu Hakone Railway. We're on the Izu Peninsula in Shizuoku Prefecture, he correctly deduced, now 2 prefectures away from his office in Tokyo. "We're taking this train to the end of the line," she told her husband as they got on. "Okay, how long is the ride?" he queried, to which she answered, "Yeah, I wonder. I've never been here before either." Dude, I'm trying not to interrupt anymore, but her responses are just golden. She really seems like a keeper. I mean, she's doing all this for him, apparently. We'll see how the story ends, though. Back at it. With no temporal hints available, her husband tried to pry a little more geographical info out of his captor. "So, when we get to the end of the line, is that as far as we're going?" he asked. "Nope, we're taking a bus after that," she explained. By this point, her husband's panic level was starting to rise again. "Is there at least any civilization where we're going? Is there even phone service?" "Like I told you, I've never been there, so I don't know," she coolly replied. "Then at least tell me where we're going so I can Google it and make sure," he pleaded. But all he got was a stern, "Nope." In time, they reached the end of the train line and got on the bus. As it pulled away from the station, the road it followed wound up into the mountains, running along the ridge of a cliff with a sharp drop. Her husband's question about civilization turned out to be precise as their surroundings became increasingly rural during the hour-long ride. Finally, they came around a corner, and her husband looked out the window to see, well, I guess we have the picture of what they were seeing right here. I gotta say, that looks pretty nice. And here's what it is. A hot spring resort town. This is a trip for rest and relaxation. When we get off the bus, head straight into the onsen bath, she said, letting her husband know for the very first time why she kidnapped him, to which he reacted with, wow, hot springs? What's going on? Hot springs? Yes, hot springs. Dude, this is such a great story. We got another picture here of the hot springs. This is so awesome and wholesome, man. Oh, I'm so glad that this story is a thing. This is great. So she had a room reserved for them with its own private rotamboro, which is an open-air bath. So do you understand what's going on? She asked after they checked in. No, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, he said. But I'm just going to head into the bath. And, well, this is a picture of the husband, apparently. I don't know why his eyes are covered in this, too. Is it part of the, the kidnapping? But they're at the destination now, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's just for relaxation. Not sure what that's about. I guess it goes on to explain. After a nice long soak, her husband's tiredness from his night shift finally caught up with him, and he stretched out and took a nap. When he woke up, she reminded him we're at a hot spring. And for the first time, everything that was happening finally sunk in, as he happily murmured, we're really at a hot spring. And that was the moment that I declared my kidnapping plan a success. Oh, she recalls. The wife recalls. Oh, this is wonderful. We got some more images here of food they were dining on, and I'm not too sure what's in the left, to be quite honest. Interesting stuff, though, man. Here's how the story ends. The wife doesn't give away the exact location that they stayed at. She's got to keep some mystery after all, but does disclose that they stayed in a ryokan, a traditional Japanese inn, on the west coast of the Izu Peninsula in Shizuoka Prefecture. After her husband woke up, they spent the rest of their trip enjoying delicacies like fresh sashimi, onsen staple treats like coffee milk, walking along the hot beach and shooting pool. All simple pleasures by themselves, but the sort of little things it's easy to forget to treat yourself to when you're caught up in the day-to-day grind of work and adult responsibilities. So when you spot someone you love forgetting to make time for them, Tentio9130 recommends taking matters into your own hands and kidnapping them out of kindness. Well, I'm not gonna recommend that, just but this happened to work out very well, though. It's a great story. Well, I gotta be honest, guys, I really enjoyed this segment. I had a lot of fun recording this and reading that story. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. And I think that's a great third segment to end the day off with. Something heartwarming, wholesome, and kind of epic, too. I mean, this was like an epic story, man. The way it all worked out, and they went to like this far remote location. I don't know. It was just awesome stuff. So again, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to catching you tomorrow. Have a good one.